also for your tremendous service to our nation and your leadership in science generally. I am so pleased by the efforts that you've made. And I want to discuss in particular just a couple of things where I hope that we can have a different outcome than in the proposed budget. First, the reduction, Sophia is something that has produced terrific results, and I realize that it's kind of ironic to hear people who were voted for the sequester question the amount of budget available for science. But we do have a tight budget, but to me, it is a problem to reduce when you've spent so much to get the result. And so I won't get into it. I'll just say I do not believe that the Congress is going to accept the elimination of Sophia. There will be a bipartisan effort to change that, and I hope to be and plan to be part of that bipartisan effort. I wanted to raise the issue of the budget for fusion. As you know, last year the National Academies released a report which found that several inertial fusion concepts, including the approaches taken by the National Ignition Facility and the Z-Pulse Power Facility, have enough technical promise to justify dedicated Federal support for inertial fusion R&D relevant to energy, not just the weapons reliability. However, there's no program currently in the Federal Government which directly, officially supports inertial fusion research and technology development activities as it relates to energy production. Now, we've discussed this. I know Congressman Swalwell will probably have his own set of questions with the Department of Energy and the new Secretary, but I would like to ask you whether you and the Secretary of Energy have had an opportunity to discuss the National Academy report and whether a collaboration might be in order to actually bring that National Academy suggestion into reality.
Well, let me start by saying, Congresswoman Lofgren, that the 2015 budget does provide $329 million for the continued operation of the National Ignition Facility and the Inertial Confinement Fusion Program at Livermore. And I believe, and I think the Secretary of Energy would probably say the same, that the energy goal at NIF is served by the continuing effort to achieve ignition. The principal challenge with NIF is to get to ignition.
Right.
There have been important steps forward, but we're not there yet, and until NIF can get to ignition, there won't be a basis for figuring out how to turn it into an energy source. And we got $329 million that is going to that facility in continued pursuit of that goal.
If I may, Dr. Holdren, and I do appreciate that you have been out there and certainly have boosted morale considerably by your visit to Sandia and Livermore. We have lost hundreds of employees at Lawrence Livermore Lab and 80 scientists, and I was actually out at the lab a few weeks ago, and the attrition rate is about 1.5 scientists a week. And here's my concern, that unless we can give some assurance as to stability, I mean, Livermore is not in my district, but it's an hour's drive from Silicon Valley, and we have competition for these scientists, and they are looking, they're leaving. And so I want to make sure we have the capacity to actually pursue. We've had some tremendous successes in the last few months. Obviously, we don't know, but recently one of the top scientists there said we don't have ignition yet, but we have a lit match. And so we want to make sure that we get this done. And I'll just leave it at that. I wanted to touch on the open access issue. You have just given us the update, which I appreciate so very much. As you know, we had a little disagreement here in the committee, the subcommittee, recently, and I just wanted to thank you for your effort and to make sure that you're aware. We're going to do our best to make sure that does not go off the rails. I think it's essential that when the taxpayers pay for research, that scientists get access to that research, and I wanted to commend your efforts in that regard. And with that, I would yield back.
Thank you.